Hey boys and girls, Mr. McCauley here. I'm going to give you a quick overview of one of my favorite types of graphs, and those are pictographs. Pictographs are kind of a fun and relatively simple way to show data. Here's an example. Let's pretend there's a cafe and they are selling lunches, and they want to know how many lunches they sell on different days. Looking quickly, I can figure out that Tuesday they sold the most because it's the longest. And on Wednesday was their worst day. So, how many did they sell on the different days? One thing that's very important is I look above at the scale, and this time the scale one slice of bread in this graph equals 4 lunches. With that in mind, I can start counting. Let's do Thursday. So there's 4, 8, 12 lunches were sold on Thursday. Let's go to Wednesday. It's a little more interesting. I got my 4, my 8, but then I've got half a piece of bread. If a whole piece of bread is 4 lunches, then half a piece would be half of that, 2 lunches. So that means from 8, I would jump up to 10 for Wednesday. Let's go up to Monday and take a look at what's going on Monday. Again, I'd count by 4s, and away I go across. But when I got to the 16 again, I would do half of a 4. So from 16, I would go to 18 to get how much is there. Now let's do Tuesday. Tuesday, I got 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. Now I don't have half, I have half of a half, which is a quarter. So a quarter of a piece of bread would only be 1 lunch. A whole bread is 4, half is 2. That means a quarter would be 1 lunch. So from 20, I would then move over to 21. Hey, let's try making a pictograph. Let's say we've got some data here for how many pizzas that cafe sold on 3 days. What's our goal for making a pictograph? Well, when you make a pictograph, the largest line of symbols, we want it usually around 5 or 10 symbols, somewhere in that kind of region. We want to pick a scale that is going to be easy to work with. And we want to also pick, we want to use whole symbols and partial symbols. And finally, we want to pick a symbol that is related to the data that we're using. So first thing I'm going to look at in terms of the data is which number is the most, because that's going to determine which scale I'm going to use. This time, of course, it would be 60. So if I know that the highest data I have is 60, I'm going to try out some scales to see what it would look like when I'm trying to make a pictograph for the number 60. Let's pretend I start with a scale of 20. What if I say the scale is 20? And then when I build the pictograph, that means the biggest day, Monday, it's going to have 3 symbols in it. Now, 3 is a little bit low. It's not in our 5 to 10 range. So 20 is not a great, it's just a so-so scale in this case. Let's use a lower number. How about we'll use 5? What would happen if we tried a scale of 5? Well, if I start counting by 5s, I'm going to have 12 pizzas to make the highest one. It's a little bit much. It could work, but I'm finding it's a little bit long. So I would say 20 was too high, 5 was too low. I'm thinking 10 is going to be perfect. So if I use 10, then I'm going to get 6 pizzas for Monday, 6 symbols, and that will probably work best. Let's work with the scale is 10. Also, my circle is a pretty good symbol, of course, for pizza, but how about I use an actual pizza symbol? I think that would probably work the best. So now let's try building our pictograph. Now I'm going to work with the scale of 10, so that makes it pretty straightforward to figure out where the pizzas have to go. Monday is 60, so if one pizza is 10, of course I have 6 pizzas. Tuesday is 50, so that gets 5 pizzas. And Wednesday, it's 55. So I have 5 pizzas, but I also got to add half a pizza to give me the 55. Yeah, so that's how you build a pictograph. A couple things to look out for. Now, in my pictograph, the pizzas are all lined up and they're done in an orderly size. If you don't do that and you have a lot of symbols, then it can be confusing to see which is the biggest and which is the smallest if you don't space it correctly. Also, when on my graph, all of the symbols are the same size. Watch out for that. Yeah, so those are some things to watch out for. And that's about it for today. That has been our video about how to make a pictograph. Good luck, boys and girls.